You guys excited or what? Welcome to Windy City Horrorama Part 2. We are on day 2. This is Saturday, April 27th. Wow. Thanks for being with us with the nasty weather outside. My name is Alex Vasquez. I'm the co-director of the festival. You are here for the screening of Straight Edge Kegger. You guys excited? Excellent. So happy to have you guys all here. A couple things before we get started. Just so you know, your ticket here at the Davis, if you show it at the bar at the Carbon Arc, you receive half-off pint cans of Blood of the Unicorn Hoppy Red Ale from Pipeworks Brewery. They are our beer sponsor. That's probably the best deal you get on Pipeworks beer in town, so make sure you take advantage of that. I know it is a little early in the afternoon, but whatever, it's Saturday, right? We are going to have a Q&A after the show. Our director, Jason, is hauling ass to get in here, but for the moment, I'm going to invite down the producer, Shelby Barbee, to say a few words.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Jason is on his way. He will be here very soon, so I apologize he's not here doing this, but I'm taking his spot. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. We are so happy that you guys are here. This is definitely our biggest screening so far. And we really hope that you all really like it. Please stick around for the Q&A. We're an open book. Ask us anything you want. And there's also a little scene at the end of the credits, so make sure you stick around for that as well. You don't want to miss it. And please enjoy the movie.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys. Enjoy the show. We'll see you after.
Hey! Sorry, forgot the
All right, everybody. Please give a warm welcome to director Jason Zink and producer Shelby Barbee. So I think you wanted to invite a couple other folks down, correct?
Yes, if they're down for it, I'd like to get Evey and Julio. Where's Julio? Where is he? Get over here. And Cory Kays. And if Sean wants to come down, I'm not going to make him, but I'd like, you don't want to do it? He's shaking his head, so he's not coming down. That's fine. Everybody else, I'm just going to acknowledge. Do you care if I do that? Okay. So, of course he did. Of course he did. Robert Downey Jr. is in the house. Okay, so we actually have a lot of cast and crew here. So I'm probably gonna miss people. I'm sorry, but anybody who worked on the film or was even in one shot, if you could please stand up, and I'm gonna call you guys out. There's a lot of people. Joe, Elliot, Miranda, we got Emily Berry back there, we got Kendall, my father is not standing up even though he helped. Lazy brother. Bob's back there. Oh, look how Bob's here. Hey, Bob. Bob is my dad's old friend, and they together made it so that the bear trap didn't kill anybody. So, all right.
Awesome. So, first of all, give one more round of applause to everybody who was involved in this film. Great work, everybody. We're so happy to have you all here. So I'll kick it off with a question. I thought it was pretty interesting the way that this movie came together, because this was not the first version of it. You made sort of a proof of concept before, right? I don't know if you want to explain it. Did the proof of concept come first? Were you expecting to make a feature out of that when you were making it? So if you want to tell us a little bit about that.
So we decided to shoot a proof of concept or a mock trailer, and it was basically just to stake our claim, called dibs on the idea. And just because I thought it was funny and it was worth exploring, it just got really bright. so we didn't really have a feature planned when we did that, but we put it up online and we got some good feedback, and it got put on the Hard Times News. It's like the Onion for punk rock, if you get those references. So that inspired us to do a Kickstarter campaign, and then put the rest on credit cards and get this thing.
Very good. Yeah, awesome. And I guess we could talk a little bit. We'll wrap these guys in a little bit, because I'm interested in how you collected this band of actors, and maybe they have some stories to share as well. Maybe I'll go down the line over here. Absolutely. So, you got anything to say about how you joined up?
Where are you going?
Oh, sorry, I might have to.
Let me walk over here. I'm not a professional at this. You just casted me. There's a casting website that I decided to apply on, and next thing I know, I get an email, whatever, message from this gentleman here asking if I would like to audition. So I said, heck yes. And it was a Skype audition, and it was kind of cool because I was in the middle of watching The Office when these guys decided to call me. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do this audition really quick. And then bing, bang, boom, they called me like a month later. Well, let's just say that I had zero acting experience. I had no idea what the hell I was doing, not gonna lie. So for my audition, I pretty much did a Negan impression. He was my inspiration for the role. And yeah, 'cause as soon as I read the script and I read the audition piece, I really saw the character in that. So I decided to get after it, and I lucked out, and I got lucky, and I did whatever. I did something up there. I just did what I did. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, so. Thank you.
How about you, Evey?
Yeah.
Come on down.
Oh, thank you. Hi. I also applied and auditioned in Chicago, and I met Shelby and Jason in an empty theater and did my audition, and basically they said, hey, do you want to come live in Indiana for a week? And I said, oh boy, do I. Kind of had this is my first, I've done film projects before, but I'm really a theater actor, and this was my first feature-length movie, and decided to take a chance, and they took a chance on me, and it's been a real joy.
Come on down. Get cozy.
Okay, so for me, before I ever started acting, I played in a punk hardcore band. Actually, the bassist is back there in the fourth row somewhere. But no, so when I saw the casting go up, I was like, oh man, this is perfect. I've been through this, not arrows getting shot in the head and stuff like that. That didn't happen in any shows I was a part of. But no, I emailed them and we did some auditions, and it worked out well because I'm doing these scenes like at the house shows and stuff. I'm like, man, I already lived this. So it was pretty cool to like go back in time and go through that again, but on film.
Yeah.
You know? So that's my story. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, give a round of applause. So I know it's with every independent film, the process is different due to time, resources, things like that. I'll send it over to Jason. Were you able to do any sort of rehearsal process with these guys? Like, was there any, or did you just kind of have to dive right into it?
A little bit of both. So we did do a read through, but I knew that we weren't, especially because Cory was from afar. He's a little bit further away from everybody else, Missouri. Okay, so I knew that we couldn't really do an intensive rehearsal process, so we did a read-through, but most of it was just me kind of talking to them individually, and I made this thing, we call it a mixtape, I don't know what you'd really call it, but I basically combined a whole bunch of scenes from movies that I thought would channel the emotions and the aesthetic of what we were doing. So it helped them a little bit, I think, get into my headspace, but it's crazy because all of this stuff, we have no money, and really, I'd like to say we know what we're doing, but really we're kind of learning as we go still. And it really kind of blew our mind that after casting them to hear our words come out of them, and it really made it so easy. So we got really lucky with our casting with these three and with Sean and some other people that we really didn't have to work really hard on set. It was just that we got to let them do their thing, and it was almost like I'd have to just tweak tiny little things, and the rest of it was all them.
I will just say that one of my favorite parts of this process was I drove in from Chicago and got the time difference wrong. So I was an hour late, I know. I teach children for a living. That's pretty rough. And I showed up on set and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And Jason was like, it's cool. Can we just get you and Cory into your first scene? Had never met Cory, and it was the scene where we kissed. And so I was like, hey, what's up? How are you? And so we did, there were lots of things that we got to like run through. Like it took forever for me to stab Manners with that bottle, like, and we ran through it 1,000,000 times, but, or what felt like 1,000,000 times in like the 100-degree bathroom at 2 o'clock in the morning. But some things we just jumped right into, and it was great.
Well, and that's sort of, yeah, a little and that sort of leads me to my next thing. I want to go down the line and have everybody, give everybody a chance to answer this, because in independent filmmaking, everything is such a learning process, and a lot of it is learning on the job and figuring out, you know, how best to do things, not only within your job, but within the set itself, because every set is different and everything is run differently. Sort of what do you feel like is the biggest lesson you learned, the biggest thing you took from being a part of this film? Like what's your little like nugget of wisdom? And for other independent filmmakers and actors as well. We'll start with you.
I would say that overnight shoots are tough. I learned that on this one. But it was a lot of fun. This is probably the most fun I've had on a set. I mean, it was just, everybody was super cool. Big thanks to you guys for the opportunity. And yeah, it's a brief answer. But I also want to say thanks to everyone who came out. This is a great turnout and a great response to the film.
Yeah, along of what Cory said, it was kind of like a summer camp vibe because we were filming in the summer, all sleeping in air mattresses in the living room, and like I would just roll over and be like, Cory, do you want to get Dunkin' Donuts? And we would have been like filming until 4 in the morning, and we would have woken up at like 11. So I think that was it too for me. It takes a lot of stamina. And for the actors in the room, you know, a lot of sit around and wait, you know, where, you know, get covered in blood, sit for 3 hours, and then, like, you do it, and but I wouldn't have traded a second for it because it was just, like, a wonderful opportunity. I also learned a lot about, the punk scene, so that was really enjoyable for me as someone who, you know, was a self-professed emo back in, like, 2008 to 2012. Felt like a poser, but had a really good time.
And I guess I would say that if you're gonna do this, just I guess an advice from other actors, even though I'm still a baby myself as an actor. If you're gonna go at it hard. Like I said, like this is the first time I was ever doing anything in film. I had 0 experience, and I'm acting with brilliant people to my left right here, kind of to my right. Okay. And you know, and you show up on set and you see everyone that really knows what they're doing, and I just kind of had an impersonation of a person. And I was like, well, let's see how this goes. And so after a talk between Jason and I, we just diluted the guy and molded James, and next thing I know, bam, you got James on the screen. So if you're gonna do this, go at it hard and just don't really be afraid, and just yeah, have fun with it, because this was a really fun shoot. I'm sorry, I was probably pissing off like a lot of people on set because I was really in a character, I'm not gonna lie. Ask this one to my left, I was getting a nurse, you know, all the time. It was purposely, but whatever. It was super fun. But yeah, it was super fun, and thank you all for showing up.
I learned, and I'm still learning, for everybody who knows me in the audience, I'm sure you're gonna want me to say this, but I learned, and I'm still learning, how to cut myself slack. because it's really easy when you're the producer and you're the writer and you're the director and then you even cast yourself. I cast myself as a small role because I'm not an actor. But when you do all that stuff, it's kind of hard to enjoy the process and be a cheerleader for everybody. And that's really if I can go back and do anything, that's what I would like to do, is just be more of a hyper positive cheerleader for everybody. And I was lucky enough to have a lot of supportive people who dealt with me apologizing every 10 seconds because they were still waiting or because it was hot in the bathroom or whatever the situation may have been. And I think they gave me some leeway because I'm nice on set, but I just wish I could have been more of a rah-rah sis boom bog. That's what I learned.
All right. I have never worked on a film set ever in my life. I had no idea what I was doing. And I'm sure everyone knows that. But I learned so much just what goes into making a movie. It is insane, like how much time and effort, everything that Jason has done. It's insane that he's made 3 of these already, and he wants to keep going. But it's amazing. I appreciate movies so much more. They're also ruined for me forever because I notice every wrong thing that happens, every boom mic, every weird cut. Thank you forever for that. But it's so much fun, and it makes you just really appreciate movies in general. So if you ever have the opportunity to be on a film set, even just as like a PA or just someone helping or just an extra, it's so much fun. So I would take the opportunity to do it if you can.
So we got a quick turnaround between the 2 films, but I have time for a couple. I'd like to open it up for a couple quick questions from the audience. Does anybody have anything? Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to say that this is the most authentic depiction of the DIY punk scene I've ever seen in a punksploitation film.
Thank you, sir.
I love this movie. Was that one of your key goals when creating Straight Edge Keg?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, you can see a lot of these movies where they try really hard, but it's really over the top and ham-fisted. It feels like it's like a commercial for Hot Topic or something. And so that was something that we just really wanted to fight against. And so that opening scene at the Subterranean was one of the most chaotic and like stressful nights of all of our lives, I would assume, but it was also one of the best experiences I've ever had, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I really think without that opening, the whole movie still may not feel as authentic, because literally that's our camera guys in the crowd getting hit by all the moshers. Like it was like herding cats. You couldn't control anybody, and you just had to kind of like barricade everybody as best you could. And I think without that and the handheld shots and the fact that it's a real live concert, like there's nothing dubbed in that. That's just recorded live, and that's what we had. So it was very important to me, and that's why the opening is what it is. So I'm glad that you really dug it. Stranger to me.
Got time for one more from the audience? Yes, right here.
Hey, Jason. Oh, yeah, I don't know you either. How does your landlord feel about all the broken windows at the Tinkler house?
Well, I don't have a landlord, I have a slumlord. And that's what I love about my landlord. My landlord knows about the graffiti, he doesn't know about the busted windows or the fires and trash cans that we've had. But he trusts me to not destroy the place. It's like controlled chaos. But with all the graffiti on the walls and all the penises we drew and all this stuff, he'll come in and he'll just walk through and just kind of go, oh, all right, and then move on. And it's why I still live in that house. It's probably the only reason that I still live in that town is because I'm just scared to leave that house. Because if you were in Hollywood and you tried to make that happen, that's $1 million budget right there just in that location. So instead, we just had to deal with like living on the floors and having no privacy for 11 days. Yeah, and that's how we did it. So my landlord doesn't really care about anything. That's the real answer. He doesn't care.
It's another great lesson for any aspiring independent filmmakers. Use your resources or find a slumlord. Yeah. All right, guys, so we're going to keep this party going out in the lobby. We do need to turn around the movie for our next screening. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you all. 1, 2, 3.
Our faces. Is that good? Alright. One more? Let's do it. Shelby! One more, quick! I know, but come on! Cory cut himself out, and now we're leaving. Everybody hold still! You're not. Isn't it weird to turn back? Thanks, guys. That was awesome. Oh, of course. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much.
I popped in a couple times. Thank you. I know we need to get out. No, absolutely. You want to get a shot? Sean's here. He just didn't want to get on stage.
I literally have.
He's here. He'll be out there. He's actually right there.
Sean!
Sean, raise your hand. You got fans.
That guy was cool.
He's like, that guy was cool, man.
How's it going?
I didn't want to. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, the lens cap? I put it in my pocket.
Thank you.
I think we need to go.
I think we need to go to the lobby.
Hey.
We're kind of in the way.
They are. They're going to want us out.
Yeah.
They have another screen that way. They get another screen with time on the But there's like that. They want us to take photos in front of Windy City Horrorama. Shelby, you get your seat.
Oh, sorry.
That was so funny.
What are they?
I told you. I can't believe you actually
What's
did
with all those hats?
I don't know.
Are they like free to take?
By the way, dude, I driving here from I wanted to bring up the guy with the rugby suit.
The only thing that matters.
Oh.